And we are back, having recently seen another new movie, this time Weapons, directed by Zach Cregger.
And written.
And written by Zach Cregger. We were both big fans, at least I was. I know you like Barbarian. I was a really big fan of Barbarian.
I thought it was good. And,
what year was that? 2022, I think?
something like that. And I figured, we both like that. Let's give this one a shot. And it was getting good buzz, as they say. Did you hear that thing with Jordan Peele?
Yeah, he was trying to acquire this and didn't work out, so he fired his...
Yeah, there was a big bidding war for it, and he didn't get it. He fired the people in charge of it, which,
I think that Cregger is doing the Jordan Peele thing better in that he's obviously really into paying tribute to the horror movies he grew up with. This and Barbarian feel very kind of 80s and atmospheric. There's a Carpenter small town kind of vibe to both of these movies. And I know Jordan Peele was trying to do that with that. I haven't seen it since theaters. The one he did after Get Out, was it
Us?
Us? Yeah, and it was there was a lot of references to Chud throughout that movie, and I don't know if you probably did. There was a lot of movie posters and the set decorations and weapons that kind of reference some 80s stuff. But
well, it's funny you bring that up because I was thinking to myself watching the movie. I meant to look up where it's technically supposed to be set.
It's in Pennsylvania.
No.
Yeah, I don't know the exact town, but it's Maybrook, Pennsylvania.
Is it supposed to be Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
Well, really, I could see that, obviously, totally. But I was almost thinking is this supposed to be Washington State or... But yeah, it definitely has a Pennsylvania look. But
it looks like kind of, the area we grew up in. It has a very...
Well, yeah, I mean, it's... The thing I realized after the movie, I was like, oh, this almost feels like a John Hughes town. And it's an increasingly rare town in America. So it had that weird... The movie wasn't retro by any means. There's cell phones and Ring cameras and all that. But it had that retro... not even, I guess, small town vibe, because if you think about it, it wasn't a tiny little town,
yeah.
But it was interesting to set it that way, and I think it was, the smart way to do it.
Yeah, I'll say at the start, I loved it. It might be my favorite movie of the year. We haven't seen too much that's wowed us. I've been really behind on new releases. There's a lot of stuff I still haven't seen, but up to this point, it was the best movie I saw all year. And when Barbarian came out, I remember seeing the trailer for that, and I was like, oh, this is just going to be because the whole trailer to that movie is just that beginning kind of segment with the Airbnb situation. And you're like, what is this going to be? A creepy guy, and the host of the Airbnb is tied up. So when that movie takes the turn it goes on, and it was so unexpected, and it was so entertaining and just and fresh that when I found out he was doing this movie, I said, I'm not watching any piece of marketing. I don't want to know anything about this movie because I saw what he did in Barbarian. And I know, and I don't know if everyone does this, but I know you and I do it when we see a movie trailer. We're then kind of waiting for those scenes to happen in the movie that we remember from the trailer, and it kind of does throw off some pacing and surprise, because you're like, oh wait, this hasn't happened yet, so it's not going to end right here. Some filmmakers are clever and they put things in the trailer just to throw people off, but overwhelmingly trailers give away a lot now. I haven't seen any of the trailers for this, but I would imagine probably it keeps things pretty under wraps.
I don't think I did either. I knew the premise, and
I didn't even know who was in it, dude. I kept turning to Ryan every time someone popped up and was like,
I know. I saw the Amy Madigan character, a still of her, smiling. So I knew she was going to pop up looking ridiculous at one point.
That was so surprised. I had no idea she was in it. And in my head...
Yeah, you did. You went, is that Amy Madigan? And I'm like...
Well, did you see what I posted on Twitter?
No.
Well, she's an Uncle Buck. She's Uncle Buck's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So all I could think of when she popped up in the movie is...
Hi, Shanice. Surprise!
That was my entire reaction when she just popped up. And then I was just I'm like, oh my God, she is great. I've always liked her. And you haven't really seen much of her.
Well, that's why you turned to me in the theater, and she's she's pretty unrecognizable, or at least very done up. And you're like, is that Amy Madigan? And I'm like, yeah. because I knew she was in it, but I'm like, why the fuck do you know? Like, how do you know that's Amy Madigan? And then I realized later, I was like, oh right, she's an Uncle Buck, your little.
Yes, and I have done the commentary track for the 4K Blu-ray.
Yes,
So.
of course.
But you know what I like about her in Uncle Buck? It's a believable pairing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she just looks in that movie like her character, Shanice Kobolowski. She runs like a tire shop, like an automotive shop, and she just looks like a hardened, like this woman who kind of like missed the window of settling, and so like now she's stuck with Buck. Like, it's a great, and the way she plays that, I think she's the wife in same year, Field of Dreams, I believe.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's a Field of Dreams.
Yeah, but she's great, and she's just for what this movie. I was so delighted when it just turns out to just kind of like the whole, again, spoilers.
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't, if you
but
haven't seen the movie, I would not recommend listening to this show. But still sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/almostcultclassics. It's $5. It's very cheap. 50 plus exclusive episodes.
That's right. We're throwing, and now every time we go out and see movies together, we're posting little fun updates of the state of the theaters we've been going to, which we'll get to. But yeah, so it was just like seeing Amy Madigan in this. It's a great casting choice, and I loved when the whole like plot is revealed to just be like a classic fairy tale type.
Yeah.
Evil, like it's simple. It's like a Hansel and Gretel type thing, and I was like,
yeah.
If it were a Jordan Peele movie, it would be like this grand like conspiracy with aliens and a metaphor for Jesus Christ. Not like I just liked that it was. I'm sure there is metaphor baked in this, but it was just like when all was said and done, it's a very straightforward.
Yeah, there seem to be a few Easter eggs here and there, especially in the classroom. I don't know if you noticed that. Like posters on the wall and stuff.
Yeah, there was so much detail that was just.
Yeah. No, it's good. And there's like an hour, maybe 45 minutes left, and like the movie kind of clicks. Like everything that's been building up to that point, like it all like really congeals, and it's good in a way where it's, you know, you as a viewer, you're like, you're not being jerked around. Like it very much unfolds itself to you. Like it says, here you are, and you go, ah, and then it plays out from there. Like it doesn't fuck you around too much. Like it's very clear about what's happening and what everything. The structure was pretty good. I thought that was a pretty smart idea. The movie's maybe a little too long. Maybe it fleshes out the characters a little too bit. I don't know. I would
agree with that.
I don't know if that's a bad thing.
To see a director like this get final cut at this like early in his career, I'm okay with it. I think he has a good handle on. I think he relies on editors, and that's the whole thing, right? It's like even if your movie is, if you get final cut, like just trust an editor and trust a person. Like that's why John Hughes, I think some of his movies are really great. He really learned to trust his editors and
sure.
Just getting Tarantino, his original editor really, I think, benefited his
Sally
early work.
Menke,
Yeah. So it's maybe that's what would be needed here, but I don't know necessarily what you would cut out because everything had a purpose for the most part. I mean, there was just like total rant, like the gun. Remember the gun floating above the house that Roland was looking at?
Yeah, and I know a lot of people. So look, here's the one thing I did know about the movie going in. You probably did too. Is it's a classroom full of kids disappears.
I had no idea.
Oh, you knew nothing.
I knew nothing about this movie.
Well, see, this is a great movie to go in. It's super cold, but I knew it was a classroom of kids that disappears, except for one, and then that's the story. Like the teacher doesn't know everything, but of course the town's like she's got to know something because it's her class, and then that's all I know. I avoided pretty much everything else with the exception of. Once the movie came out, that picture of Aunt Gladys, the Amy Madigan character, when she's smiling in the principal's office, that was going around, and I was like, I was kind of pissed because I put two and two together, and I was just like, it's gonna be like she's gonna be like a witch or something.
If I had seen that, I would have been worried that it was gonna be like this long legs thing. Like long legs to me is the anti this. Did you ever end up seeing that one?
No,
that was his thing, or
but I read the premise, and it seemed like too like. He was real, but he wasn't, and it was a nun's kid. And I was like,
I'm like, sometimes you just don't want to have to fucking deal with that in your horror movie. You just kind of want to enjoy the ride and not have to.
No, it's incredibly straightforward. This movie, it's like I said, it keeps you guessing up until a point, and even the keeping you guessing, it's more just you're curious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, oh, well, you're trying to like detective the story out. You're along for the ride, and then it like I said, it goes, here you are. This is what's happening. What's going to happen now? And so it was pretty refreshing. I definitely enjoyed the movie. I don't know if I loved it. I liked it a lot. If there's a distinction there, like, you know, it was good. It was, I definitely enjoyed it. Yeah. So anyway, like a lot of people are saying it's like an allegory for school shootings. I don't know if I really saw that, especially, but there is that time where the Josh Brolin character who's lost a son, he's having a dream where he's kind of chasing the son because all the kids run out of the house in the middle of the night. They all leave at 2:17 in the morning at the same time.
Great decision, by the way, to use Ring cameras as part
Sure.
of the investigation there, to use it as a tool.
Absolutely. But there's one part where he kind of, in the dream, he runs up to a house and like maybe an AK, maybe AR-15. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like an assault rifle of some sort.
It's a rifle. And it kind of like materializes in the sky above the house, and 2:17, like on a digital clock, appears on it. I don't know. I think that was more of just an interesting visual. If there is an allegory for school shootings, it is very limited. You are not being beaten over the head with it at all. The witch thing is way more like, because they're accusing the teacher of basically being a witch.
It's a witch hunt,
like,
so
it's more of that. Like, I don't know. I didn't see the school shooting angle in it too much.
neither. And I was listening to an interview with him. He was on.
And plus, I thought the gun thing was kind of cool. It was eerie.
Yeah,
it was
and
so odd.
I wasn't then sitting there going like, "What did that mean? When's that coming back?"
No, it's because it's a dream. Yeah. It's a dream,
right?
And I have vivid dreams. Unfortunately,
I can't imagine what the fuck goes on in your subconscious,
dude. But like, you see shit, and like, it's just sometimes it's just that. It's just shit. Like, it's just things, and like. But there is an anxiety, like, you know, school shootings happen, and like, if you're a parent that lost a kid, there might be that anxiety, that latent anxiety,
definitely,
or just like, you know, sitting in the back of your head. And you know, the one part of the movie where they're kind of figuring out, the Josh Brolin character and the teacher kind of figuring out what's going on, and he kind of says the title of the movie. I kind of got a groan out of me where it's like, it's almost like they're being weaponized, and I'm like, eh. I also think the title's bad.
I mean, Barbarian, he seems to have this thing.
No. I'm cool with, you know, a title that's more suggestive or abstract, or there's an E word I'm looking for here. It's not ephemeral. What the fuck? But like, she's weaponizing people. Like, I get it. Like, I don't know. I didn't love the title. That's such a minor criticism, though.
I was watching an interview with Cregger on last podcast on the left. It was a really good interview, and he brought up two directors that you're way more familiar with than I am as inspirations on this movie. One being David Lynch, and the other being Paul Thomas Anderson. He in fact, I think he cited Magnolia as an influence I haven't seen. I don't know if you picked up any of those influences. I mean, it seems
camera work wise, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard there's some like
that.
clear homages and shots, and who's the creepy woman in Twin Peaks? Like, I've heard Aunt Gladys was kind of the log lady. Is that?
Oh, the log lady. Yeah, kind of. I mean, the log lady was a good guy in a sense.
But he said something in an interview about how like Lynch would sometimes like show you visuals to suggest things that don't really relate to what's going to happen, or just and it seemed like he was going
100%. Yeah, for sure. And that's why I say like the gun thing in the sky. Like, I don't even know. You don't even have to make the connection to school shootings. Just like the idea of like just it's just odd. Like that's enough. You know what I mean? And it's quick. It like the way it like kind of like fades in. Like at first it just seems like an outline, and that becomes very defined, and the 217 pops up on it. It was just cool. Like, it doesn't even need to mean anything. Sometimes it's just a cool image is enough. Like,
I also
need to be
love
super
how
deep.
There are jump scares in this movie, but they're effective, and I like how he plays up the humor of them. I mean, that scene when Brolin sees Gladys, or like an exaggerated version of her face, and it's like, fuck, and just like the wide shot of him in the bed, like, it's funny.
The theater wasn't packed, but everyone laughed at that because he's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And it's like, if you ever woken up from a dream and kind of done that, like, you know that feeling, like, what the fuck? Like,
can we let's you mentioned theaters. Let's dial back a little bit
So
because
first I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm like, Joe, let's go see Weapons. He's like, all right.
so
He's like,
just real quick. We now live closer together, which we're now going to the movies together to see a lot of this shit. Whereas
and we
used
hold.
to.
I make him hold my hand in the
That's
theater.
exactly right. We used to we would see these movies on our own over the course of a month and then do these big movie catch-ups and kind of, but right now it seems to be what's working is we'll go see a movie and then we'll talk about it individually.
Yeah, right.
And that was the case here. So we were trying to figure out where to go. I did not want to go to where we went for the Naked Gun because if you listen to that episode, it was just
I suggested that, of course,
right.
because I'm thinking it's the middle point. I never know if you're in the city or not. And also, you're such a prick. You're such a fucking asshole. Joe's like, "Meh." He's such a little bitter ass. He's like, you're coming to the city next time. As if I didn't come to the city for fucking years every time to do this stupid show. But now all of a sudden you have to come around me once in a while.
Big pain in the ass. And I'll tell you why. Because in the city, we don't have megaplexes, and the experience is better
You don't
as a
have
result.
parking either.
I don't give a shit. I'll trade the parking for the...
You're not driving.
Listen. So I suggested Ryan another theater that was an AMC theater. So I suggested to Ryan a AMC, and I saw that there was a time that worked conveniently for me, and it was one of these AMCs that you can get food at. Well, you would thought I suggested to Ryan that we see this movie at a backyard barbecue with mosquitoes and a hootenanny happening next door. You were disgusted by the very suggestion.
This is the closest theater to me. It's like maybe 10 minutes away. It's really easy to get to for me. And I'm like, wait a second, Joe. I'm like, is that a dine-in theater? And you're like, well, you can get food. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, are there waiters? And you're like, no, there's like food runners. I'm like, fuck that. No.
Yeah, but there's not like, a black tie like, good evening, sir. Would you care for a jalapeno poppers? Can I bring you the special?
There's people walking around the theater. I don't want to go to a theater like that.
It was also a weekday matinee. I don't know if they really even employ people. I used to go on my break I had Movie Pass when I worked in a restaurant, and I would get a long break. I've talked about this. So I would go. I didn't have time to see full movies. I would go see like Super Troopers 2. I still haven't seen the end of it, and I don't ever plan to. But yeah, it was like it seems like now. The thing is, and people can correct us in the comments, back when you would go to these things like 10 years ago, yes, there would be a traditional service model. There would be a check drop. It was very annoying. It was very, very annoying. I think now it's all done. You order on the phone, and they know your seat.
But here's the other thing now. Now there's phones on in the theater. I got to see your fucking phone light up.
Again, I'm just clarifying that, I don't know, but you were so, like, vehemently opposed to the idea.
Immediate veto. Immediate.
So then I'm like, okay, well, there's another AMC. We'll go that.
Which was kind of the one we always went to as kids.
Yeah. And
I have fond memories of that place.
Yeah, just because it's like...
It's nostalgic, yeah. It's a shithole.
It's a shithole because how long has that theater been there? It's got to be 30 years, right? At least.
It's as long as I remember.
So, it was built however, long ago, 30, 40 years ago, but now they've shoehorned in like the modern upgrades into that structure, and it just looks strange. It doesn't, it's bizarre. But after our experience seeing The Naked Gun, sitting through 40 fucking minutes of trailers and commercials, I was like, I'm not even attempting to fucking hurry to these things now.
I was there on time.
In fairness, we probably should have ordered tickets ahead of time. If I'm gonna have that mentality of fuck this, I'm gonna show up.
Yeah, we got it. We've learned our lesson.
As I showed up, which is, I think it was, I was there about 5 minutes after the scheduled start time. I finally park and show up, and I check the app. I had actually checked the app in the car because I was like, let me just see. I was like, maybe I'll just get him so Ryan can go inside and shut the fuck up. Right. And then I see,
because I'm always texting him. I'm like, where you at? Where are you?
This is a weekday matinee, but the only seats available were the entire front row, which I was open to sitting in because I think they have adjusted them with the big seats. You can recline, but again, Ryan was disgusted by the mere suggestion. Like,
I'm not sitting in the front. I like
would you rather do front row or would you rather do the dining experience? What would make you more of a bitch?
I don't know. It would depend. Like if you're saying if the front row is a little better than it was, then yeah, I would take front row because then you don't have to see anyone in front of you. But then you have the anxiety of people behind you.
Yeah.
But I hate the walking around. I really hate the phone on. I don't want to see the phone light. It's distracting. I'm sorry, it's fucking distracting. Why am I the bad guy? Just because you're like totally like, I'll take anything.
No, it's not true. I have standards with movie theaters.
You have no standards.
I do. I don't
No,
like
I've
them.
got bug. I know. But anyway, so
we're gonna have to go to that. I have a friend on the inside working for that that Netflix.
Do you want to go do a?
Yeah, maybe we all can try to get us like we'll do like a press. Maybe they're doing something like that.
Let's do it.
Let's try to do that. But
I'm sure he'll love it when we give it a shit review. It's funny, though, when I was waiting for you outside the theater, a couple teenagers come up to me and they're like, "Excuse me, sir." And I'm like, ugh. I'm sir now. But they're like, "This woman says we can't get
real
in."
Big fan of the Mel Gibson episode, dude.
Yeah, if we're not accompanied by someone over 21 or whatever, and I cut them off. I'm like, dude, just buy a ticket to another movie and walk into the theater. And they all like froze. They're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, yeah. I'm
These
like,
kids
go.
have no inventiveness today. No,
go forth, young man.
Yeah.
It didn't work when I was leaving. I saw them leaving as well. They must have fucked it up.
It'd be really funny if like then it turned out it was like a little person and was like, all right, mister, you're under arrest.
Yeah.
Giving kids soliciting advice.
I just couldn't think what movie. It had to have been weapons.
It had to be weapons.
What else was out that they would have been.
It had to be weapons. It had to be weapons. There's
I don't know. But anyway, so at this point, I'm like, dude, let's just go to another theater. And so we did. And we got tickets beforehand.
And this theater is, I used to go to it when I was a kid. It's in Delaware. I'll just say it's in Delaware. And so my family, when they would go over there to get a cheap deal on furniture or whatever bullshit they were trying to buy, we would sometimes go out to the movies there. And dude, this place is fucking huge. And it's a Regal
really
yet again.
big.
But at this point, I'm like, whatever. We could see the theater on the, like, it was completely empty. There were like 2 seats.
Right.
And so this, I don't know if this was built as it's such a strange layout. It's you walk in, and that used to be where you buy tickets. Now, of course, it's all screens, but also there's an arcade, and then you have to go up 2 escalators to get to the theaters. And
dude, it's funny. It looks like it's on like a hill kind of, and it looks
in the back.
like this massive, like it looks like a castle. Like it looks seriously enormous.
It's big.
It is,
and it's so far away from, like, usually movie theaters you see on near a highway or the road. You can see what's playing, or like this. It's if you don't know it's there, you're not going to stumble upon this fucking thing. It's tucked away. It's in the back. And it's near deserted when we get there, it was fine. This experience was not bad, except for the fact that there's just like there are bathrooms out of order, and one of the escalators were out of order. Climbing an escalator like steps is not fun. It's just it's all fucking the. You know what I mean? Like the steps are a weird length, and it's like, I know, but it's like they're not properly spread out. There's something weird. There's something weird about walking up an escalator, and I also think it's gonna open up, and I'm gonna fall to my death.
Oh my god.
Anyway, we get up to the 3rd floor, concession stand, and I was like,
our
Ryan,
ears pop.
I was like, Ryan, I'm gonna get a seltzer. You want a water or anything? So I'm walking through, and they've got, dude, it's just incredible. Like they now have the checkout line that wraps, that's lined with product.
Oh my god, it is lined with it.
Funko Pops and T-shirts and I was like, last time I was the gift shop in this lobby made the one at the last Regal look like a kiosk.
I was stunned, and then of course, we're like the only people there. He turns at me, he goes, yeah, look. He's like, I'm gonna get this, and I'm like, what the hell is that? He's got the fucking popcorn. I didn't even know this was real. And if you saw our Naked Gun thing on YouTube, like the graphic Joe made, he has Liam Neeson holding like the beaver popcorn holder. I thought that was something you made or found. It's real. Joe bought it, and it's $30 fucking dollars.
$30, and I didn't want it filled. I assume when you buy them, it includes the popcorn. Who the fuck knows? Like, but I was like, I don't want fucking butter and shit in this thing. I just want. I wanted it as the gag, and I have it here. It's a cheap piece of
course,
shit.
Of course.
It's the beaver, and he's perched on a little log that says "Nice Beaver," a joke that wasn't even in that Naked Gun. But yeah, because I put it in the thumbnail, I was like, man, we've got to get it. And you took a photo of me in the theater that I put on my Instagram because it's comical. It's a comic. It's a beaver popcorn bucket.
No, yeah, it's one of those things you gotta do it for the gag. But it was funny though, because then we're walking in the theater and like a guy has to scan your tickets on your phone. Ugh, just the whole idea of that. But you know, two grown men in their 30s, and he kind of like, he's real deadpan too. He just looks at us and then looks at the thing and goes, "Nice Beaver." And I was like, that's pretty good.
Well, I've
pretty
since
funny.
sent an email to a Regal corporate, and there's a pending lawsuit of sexual harassment because of it.
Yeah, it was uncalled for.
It was very
He
uncalled
kind of
for.
stepped over the line.
Assuming that about us, and I feel very disrespected. So we'll be taking it to the next level.
He caught me off guard though, because he didn't smile or anything. Like,
as no one that works there would, but.
It's weird. It's just an empty movie theater like that big is really odd. But yeah, so we get in the theater and it's
and we were sitting in Ryan's sweet spot, which is the dead center of the back row, which
it's excellent.
I was pushing for us to rebrand the podcast as the back row with Ryan and Joe because, as everyone knows, we really it's become something else. We've been thinking about a rebrand. I don't know if it'll ever happen because we got all the shit, but Almost Cult Classics honestly doesn't really represent what we do anymore. I think it would always be one of our shows, but it's just we're doing so much more now. But anyway,
right.
When we were first knocking around ideas for this podcast 5 years ago, that was one that came up and it was taken. So you're like,
well, the last row was taken.
The last row.
I don't know if the back row is taken.
The back row, does that? I don't know. Back to me kind of implies a homosexual connotation.
Then let's do it. Let's definitely do that. We'll reach a whole new audience. The back row. Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Maybe we should call the one-off movies reviews instead of like we watched a movie. I'll do the back row.
Yeah, we watched the movies pretty bland, but it's okay.
Bear with us, folks.
Yeah,
we're trying.
Yeah, but we get in there. It's fine. The theater's fine. It seemed relatively clean. But man, the fucking armrests. I sit down. Joe's like, I don't want to touch this. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I look down. The armrests are shredded on these. They really were.
They had to know that like when they must have wholesale bought the cheapest faux leather they could find because any one of these theaters you go in now that had these big upgrades. I don't know when they did, 10 years ago maybe they did all those upgrades, but like these seats are fucking shot.
Yeah,
they really didn't have a long life. The fucking where you put your feet, it's also where the head, because people with their fucking greasy head, like everything is just fucking ruined. It's like you almost want to. They should have like one of those toilet seat covers, but instead of that, you pull out like a big piece of plastic you put over your seat because it's just you said it last time.
I could just imagine that everyone crinkling in their seat. I would put a bullet in my brain, man.
And we kind of, we knew what we were getting into because the last time, so at least we were prepared to have some fun with it. But it felt
we were there on time.
It felt like someone from Regal heard the Naked Gun podcast and then was mocking us with what took place because it was everything we complained about in the Naked Gun was exaggerated this time around. It was longer. There were more soda commercials. I don't think the trailers got broken up with a commercial this time, if I remember correctly.
No.
So I'll give them that.
By the way, it's funny. You brought up Barbarian. Remember you said that the one thing you saw was how they both booked an Airbnb at the same time. Mm-hmm. Did you notice that one trailer is that fucking premise again? It was Bone Lake.
Yeah, there was a couple I turned my brain off for. Was that the one with like couples and like it was a thriller?
I'm like, you took the plot of Barbarian. I'm like, okay, and that's the thing with Barbarian. It's like you can accept, you can suspend your disbelief a little bit there, but like that doesn't really happen. Double bookings on Airbnb, that doesn't really happen. I've never really heard of that happening, but in that movie, you can kind of accept it. In this, I'm like, what? I'm like, why are they doing it? And it's like, I don't know.
And again, it's like all these trailers feel like they're showing too much. There was something else we saw where I was just like, a few Red Band trailers, and I don't know, nothing that really stuck out to me. Is there anything? There was some. Oh, that wasn't a movie. Was that a car commercial with Billy Bob Thornton?
Oh, what was that? I don't know. It was something
soft
dumb.
selling a car.
Yeah, it was something stupid.
Fucking buy it. See if I give a fuck.
Yeah,
I don't care. I just took the paycheck. I was talking to Ryan about how the trailer came out for this. I'm a backer of the Kickstarter, it's a really good-hearted project. It's the importance of being earnest, the Jim Varney documentary. But I was just expressing to Ryan, I'm a little disappointed that this documentary went the route of let's talk to all the people involved in the Ernest commercials, all the people that were, and I really was hoping they would go more into like, let's explore Jim Varney as an actor, and let's talk to some of the, like Penelope Spheris, and let's talk to Billy Bob Thornton.
I think this is such an odd criticism from you, because one,
it's not a criticism. It's just saying, like me, I would have liked to have seen that.
but whoever
angle.
talks to those commercial people, they're nobodies. That's
No, I'm
interesting
saying
to
they
me.
should be
Do
a
we
part of it.
really need to hear from Penelope Spheris? He was great. He was a good actor.
No, I would
Plus,
like to
here's the
know
other thing.
why
There's not-
she went with him over Sam Elliott for the Beverly Hillbillies.
because
I
he's
think that's
good.
Yeah,
better.
I know, but
he's better.
She really had to fight for him in that movie, and I think it would be interesting to hear about that.
Oh, it's funny when you said this to me at the theater. I was like, why wouldn't she go with him over? I heard Sam Neill, so I'm like, why the fuck would you get Sam Neill as Jed Clampett? No, Sam Elliott. That makes a bit more sense. but seriously, there's not a ton. I'm not saying Jim Varney wasn't. He was a great actor, but there's not a ton of examples of him being a great actor. There's a ton of Ernest.
Well, but that's what I mean. That's why I wanted them to narrow in on that. And one of the things he did was a dramatic performance in a Billy Bob movie. I remember they were hyping up that they were going to try to get Billy to be. That's where my confusion's coming in, because on the Kickstarter when they were starting this shit, he was someone they planned to talk to. They obviously didn't. So I'm just in my head like I'm picturing, because now I've heard stories, even like Harold Ramis talked it was a fucking nightmare working with him on the Ice Harvest. Like he's just not a kind guy, it seems. And I'm just like imagining his phone like the importance of being what? Well, who the fuck is of Ernest? God damn it, no. Like he's just like, know what I mean? No, I don't know what the fuck you mean.
They should reboot it. Bring him back as Vern.
Oh God. Well, I told you it came very close. They were rebooting it with Jack McBrayer, which a friend of mine who's associated with Jack McBrayer confirmed that almost happened.
Seems like an odd.
Well, they were going for, and I kind of respect it, they were going for, we're not going to do like a mini version of Jim Varney. We're going to make the character have similarities, but be his own thing. And, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, now I'm trying to think of some of those trailers. Some of them look like real dogs. Fuck. Oh, well. They really are. You just kind of, you're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and then it was like, so the trailers didn't start until, it's like the trailers are starting after the advertised showtime.
Yes.
And
way after.
Yeah. It was like, I'm thinking about back in the day, we were talking about it. You would go and you would sit in your seat and there'd be like that late music playing and there'd be those phony slideshows with like trivia questions. Or then sometimes there'd be just like a PR fluff piece about the making of some blockbuster.
There was never commercials.
Never now they're just the exact commercials you would see on television.
Right. And I saw someone on Patreon be like, I actually like the preamble to films and stuff. It's like, we all did, but it's not what it was. Like now it's like you said, it's fucking TV commercials. And then by the time the trailers come around, you're like, which I used to love.
Will never drink a Starry out of spite for
I had one yesterday.
I've seen for Starry.
All right.
That used to be Sierra Mist, right?
Yes.
They've taken away Sierra. Remember Sierra Mist? They took her away. It's cause it was a woman. They wanted to take her away from us.
Sierra Mist was a terrible name anyway. They used to have some awful commercials.
I used to love Sierra Mist.
It's the same drink.
I don't think it is. I think they fucked up something in it, some aspartame or something.
Maybe.
Anyway, so there was that. There was Pepsi, and then the trailers begin. But then there's the advertisement for like the Regal, and then they've been doing that roller coaster opening. It's updated, but retire it. Send it out
fine.
to pasture.
No,
fine. It's not. It's dumb. It's really stupid. I remember back in the day, it was kind of exciting. That big popcorn would pop right there. You would hear the noise. Now it's just like this,
it's
like
fine.
bland, whatever. But yeah, then weapons began, and I was sucked in. I was very into it. So
one thing I was furious off the bat, and I got over it as the movie went on. But the movie opens and closes with like a little girl who's never shown, or you never get who it is. Doesn't matter. But she's doing like a bit of a narration to kind of set it up and close the story. And I'm like, am I at home? Because everyone bitches about this. is that dialogue seems so much quieter on TV at home. I'm in a giant theater with an
Yeah.
enormous fucking surround sound system, and her dialogue was so quiet. And thankfully, I kind of just forgot about it because I'm like, I can't sit here and stew the whole fucking movie.
Dude, by the way, this theater is like Madison Square Garden. Like it's a
big.
fucking stadium that you're in.
It was big.
And I don't know if I've heard a lot of people echo this, that a lot of these movies now, they sound low. So I don't know if that
I think it was the theater.
I do think it's a technical problem. I don't think it's the filmmakers that are doing this.
I remember Ebert for years before digital, and maybe a bit after digital projection, he used to rage about the theaters would dim the projection to save on fucking basically electricity and not burn out the bulbs quicker. And he's like, you need that bulb bright. Like he would never shut up about this. I think I don't think it's the same thing. I think it's just laziness or just shit. Like, there's no fucking reason when everything else is booming loud. That dialogue shit. I cannot blame the mix of the film. I really have a hard time believing
No, I
that.
refuse to believe that as well. And I think it's what you're seeing in a lot of these movie theaters is obviously there's a staff problem. So they're not hiring, they're not bringing their best. They're not hiring like really like I guess experienced. I don't know what it is because there's such a disconnect happening. It's like nothing's getting fixed, nothing's getting repaired. They're just letting shit slide. I guess because they're trying to save money because it's not what it was. And that's why I think the commercials are such a problem because the only way they can really guarantee to make some money is to do these ads.
They got to run those ads.
At that point, you have to confirm that people are going to see them. So these advertisers are probably paying to have their commercials aired at the movie start time. I think that's where the problem is happening because that's the only way they're making money, and they can't tell them to go fuck. You know.
Well, I still love too how AMC was like, no, we've heard it, we're working on it. It's like you're working on it. Just don't
They don't
do
give a
it.
shit.
I don't know.
Dude, Regal and AMC are really like trying to hold on and just like squeeze as much money as they can out of what's left of people who enjoy going to the movies. So
the thing that's going to happen is what happens with everything else is you'll get a VIP thing where it's you pay extra and the movie starts on time. That's what's going to happen. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
you're
shit
right about
like
that.
Some scaled experience. It's just inevitable.
fuck the capitalist world, man.
Yeah, man. No more ads in my movie, man. My $100 million Hollywood movie, man.
So what I did like about this movie is it's very
Gets started immediately, though.
Yeah.
But it dives right in. It doesn't, like I said, this movie doesn't really fuck you around too much. Like the kids disappear real quick.
That's what I mean about pacing. It's like, what would you really cut? Because it throws you into it, and then you're.
I just don't know if like you said. Okay, it's broken up into maybe 5 or 6 chapters, we'll say.
Yeah.
And each one is like a character name, and it starts with what's her name? It was something Gandy.
Justine Gandy.
Justine Gandy. So she's the first one. It's Justine. She's the teacher, and I always forget this actress's name.
Julia Garner. Did you ever see Ozark?
No. I know she's in that, and I've seen it. I'm like, I don't know.
She was
She's
really good in it. I thought
foul-mouthed.
Yeah, Ozark has its highs and lows, but overall, she was really good in it. She was not very good in that Wolfman movie a few months ago, so it's nice to see her in this. I thought she was good in this.
She was good, but
Everyone was good in this.
yeah, everyone was good. She's the first chapter though. It starts with her, and she's as confused as everyone else, and she immediately gets kind of pegged as like something's up with her. She's getting followed around. She's getting weird phone calls from people because they're all kind of like, like I said, she's got to know something. Everyone's looking for an answer here because it's totally inexplicable why these kids would all run out at the same time.
2:17 a.m. All the kids in this one class, excluding one boy, all get up and run out their front door off into the night at 2:17 a.m. Not to be seen again.
Right.
And we also have Josh Brolin, who is a construction worker, contractor, who he's one of the dads to this kid that's gone missing. You've got, was it Alden?
Ehrenreich.
Ehrenreich.
He's good, but like honestly, does his like story really add much? It's pretty inconsequential, and him and the junkie are really, they don't really add a ton to the story.
I thought that
it's fine because, like I said, it's a real everyone's. It fleshes it out in a more of a interconnectedness way, and this is the people in the town type way. But really, quite frankly, looking back at it, there's not a ton of purpose to either of their side stories. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. It wasn't bad either. The junkie and the cop, both their stories are interesting and well just portrayed.
Yeah.
And how they connect with the other ones are good too. But I didn't think it really. And this is the other thing too. It's not that something to be necessary. Like it has to be necessary. It must be necessary. But like I said, it was more of a, for lack of a better term, the vibe of things. Like, so it worked for me. But in retrospect, I'm like, I don't know if that was really, I needed it. Same with the Asian Principle.
Have you ever read Salem's Lot?
Yes, actually, I have. It's been a long time, but I liked it. And I hate Stephen King.
He obviously is. You can feel a little bit of Stephen Kingness to this whole thing, but it reminded me a little bit of that, where it's like there are portions of Salem's Lot where it's like you're really good, you're really invested with these characters, and then you go and you're with the other characters for a little bit, and then but it does kind of. I think it adds something to the pacing and the way he layers it all and reveals stuff like what was something.
It's a novelistic way of approaching it,
right?
And it's constructed well. Like the way, like I said, the way each story does dovetail into each other. It is good, and he cuts it off at the right moments and brings it back at the right moments. So it's a weird critique I'm making. Like I'm not saying it's bad. It's just in the if I'm rewatching it, like knowing what's going to happen, I don't know if I'm going to be as invested. Like when the cop is getting pricked with the needle, like that's a pretty heavy scene, but it goes nowhere. It's pretty meaningless. Like. And then to get stabbed in the face later with them, like, it's gross and weird, but who cares?
Did I ever tell you about the time? So my dad, years ago, he was he had a job fixing industrial washer dryers, and one of the clients was prisons. So he used to go into prisons, when the laundry wasn't being used to service things. And at one point, I forget what he was doing. He was doing something and stuck his hand on top, and it stuck right into a fucking homemade shiv. And it was just, everything was fine, but that moment, much like Paul in this movie, where it's just like, your life flashes before your eyes of you,
and he's freaking out, and he's good. He's very good in the scene.
Yeah.
His character's good. The story is good. I
thought he's a good actor, but there's something about him that he's never going to be like a fucking movie star,
Probably not. I think
they've been trying for a while. And,
he was Han Solo, right?
He was Han Solo.
Yeah.
And it was fine. He wasn't bad in that movie.
No.
But it's like, I don't know. There's just, I think in this, it's like, he looks like this small town cop who's kind of going through, and I liked the relationship between him and Justine. It's just the way he kind of laid it out and set things up that you would then see in his story, and getting those perspectives. There was a couple moments too where I was actually like, ugh, this is like it's a cop-out moment, like it's just too easy. And then in the next segment we would find, I'm like, oh, okay. Like when Paul sees the junkie walking towards the police station after telling him to leave town. In my head I was like, why would the junkie be like walking around, of all places, the police station? And then of course in the next segment we find out that he discovers where the kids are when trying to rob a house, and he wants the reward money, so he's going to the so like stuff like that.
Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. Like my critique of, like I said, whether or not these scenes are necessary it's not that great. I'm saying this about myself. Like it
much
does
like all your critiques.
It does all work though. Like
especially ones involving movies named Walk Hard.
Oh my God. This is going to be like a little albatross. I don't care, dude. Fuck everyone. I'll triple down on it. I don't give a shit. Eat my ass. But like as I'm saying, like it does feel like a very full world. These characters are very lived in, and it does work when it reaches that, apex of when the story switches into like, it's 40-minute climax or what have you, where it becomes, it switches to the kid essentially, which was pretty well done, his whole segment.
For sure.
Because, and even that was a little, there's a few things there where you can kind of question, like, his parents like being like, oh, the dad had a stroke, because she's the Aunt Gladys character. She comes to stay with this kid, the one kid that doesn't disappear. She's the older
Alex.
sister of the kid's mother, I believe,
Yeah.
is what they say. And she's a witch. Like,
No, the older the mother's aunt. So she's the kid's.
no, she's the mother's sister.
No, she's the mother's.
I'll bet you a
great aunt.
dollar. You want to bet a dollar?
It says right here, Alex's eccentric great aunt. She's the great aunt to him.
Okay, I thought she said older sister, but
No, she's like 75 years old.
okay. Okay. But yeah, so she comes to stay with them because she's ill, and like, that's the
By the way,
that's the pretense.
real quick, Cregger
Yeah.
in the interview I was listening to said that he had an alcoholic parent growing up, so that's where a lot of this taking care of the parents, taking care of himself, there
Yeah.
was some of that. He said that, and I'm like, man, I it's kind of impressive because I actually have liked writing this way, where you don't outline, you just start writing and see where the story takes you. And he was saying
Sure.
that's what he did here, and you can see how that had its advantages and disadvantages, but I don't know. He seemed to be like it was fun for him to discover that story because when he started writing, the Aunt Gladys was not.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's a weird. I saw someone else make this comment because after the movie, you can kind of see what other people are saying and stuff. But some reviewer was like, it's interesting that a movie where a classroom of kids disappears and it's pretty heavy shit it's a crowd pleaser movie, kind of like, especially with the ending. But like I said, the way it all unfolds is it's pleasing as a viewer to have, like you said, where one scene ends and you're like, what the fuck? And then as the next scene progresses and you go, oh, it's just well constructed. It's good writing in that sense. It's well pieced together. But as I said, she comes to live with them. She's a witch, and I also thought the movie did a good job of showing the witchy shit without overdoing it. Like you understand. She wraps
Reminded
the hair.
me of The Witches, the original, the 90s or 80s movie.
But you get it. She has the bowl of water. She wraps hair around the twig, puts blood on it, and snaps it, and that turns someone into like a weapon, essentially. And when she drops it in the water, it's done. It's simple. Like you get it, man. You just get it. You don't need more than that. And anyway, so she kind of does that. She like puts the parents in that kind of comatose state because she's sick. She actually is like she needs. I assume she's kind of sapping power is what she's trying to do. And then she realizes like it's not really working with the parents. So
You don't really even know how she's drawing her power.
all right.
And there's that moment when he's like, my parents didn't help you. She's like, no, I thought they would, but I need something stronger. And,
Right.
That's what she tells him she's going to have to get a belonging of each of the kids in this class and bring that to her so she can draw the power. Yeah.
And she makes it very clear, like he can't say anything because she can make the parents hurt themselves because they're just sitting comatose. And like, they start stabbing themselves in the face with a fork.
And kind of interesting, when the movie wraps up, it's revealed that they stayed that way. Like there wasn't like a magical wake up moment for them. And even some of the kids, they said like,
it was a good line at the end because like the kid's feeding the parents soup each day. And the little girl comes back to narrate at the end and she's like, and now someone else feeds them soup. Like it was kind of funny, like darkly funny. But so yeah, it's good because I liked the kid doesn't talk much. It was quiet in the sense of like
overall, there's not a heavy reliance on dialogue, and a lot of like there's even like the sound design's really good in this movie. There's a couple scenes of like when you just hear like the cicadas, like you're just and like the summer, like the sounds of a summer street, like
but I really liked it from the kid's perspective because one, he can't talk,
and you hate when kids act. So
well, nah, the kid was good.
He was good. All the kids were good.
It's not a ton of that. He's the main kind of kid in it, but he can't talk. And there is that, if you remember when you're young, there's a weird isolation factor sometimes when you're a kid because you're in the world of adults, whether you like it or not, and you don't know how to act. So you just kind of clam up. And I just thought it portrayed that very well, visually, especially. And it was just good because he's really stuck. You start to feel for the kid. You're like, man, you're fucked, buddy. You're the little buddy. Like, how are you going to get out of this?
It adds weight to the interactions we saw earlier with him and Justine. Like, again, it's very, very, for someone that didn't have this immediately all mapped out and planned out, he really does find ways to kind of tie things together. And there was the moment when the Brolin character shows up at one of his construction sites and he ordered the wrong paint. And this is after we saw Witch in red paint painted on Justine's car. And I think I even turned to you and it happened. And I was like, oh, like the paint. Like, it was just like...
Yeah, and I turned to you and I was like, wow, you put that together. Good job,
But
Joe.
it was like...
Shut up.
You forget that movies did shit like that. I wasn't pointing it out to you. I'm just like, oh, like, it was just like...
No, and like, I'll repeat myself. That's the one thing this movie really does good is it doesn't jerk you around. It gives you things. It sets something up and then says, here you go. Here's your answer. And it does that repeatedly. And it really is pleasing to watch that. And that's what makes it enjoyable. That's what I think maybe it will be good on repeats. And then like, because that's the one thing I always judge a movie by, or it's one of the metrics is that, will I watch this again? And I would watch this again.
I would too.
I
know Barbarian still hasn't been released on physical media?
What?
Yeah, I think that's because it's Warner Brothers and they got such a fucked up whatever's going on over there. But yeah, they have not released that movie on physical media, and it's a crime because I would love to own it.
Odd.
I know.
That's really strange. They think
I know, and people really like that movie.
That. Yeah,
he's. I think now after the success of this one, they might put it out. But yeah,
what's this one doing? Is it doing? It's doing pretty good.
It's doing very well. Yeah, yeah.
For an R.
172 on a $38 million budget. So
good stuff. I can't get over how these comedy guys make horror now. And I'm not saying they do a bad job, but I mean, like, I don't know. To me, it's kind of a bummer.
And I think it might be because they get less interference. Honestly, it seems like
they, I think it's easier to do. No one has any faith in comedy anymore.
But this movie,
rightfully
funny moments,
so.
like the that whole last act of the kids chasing after Aunt Gladys. I mean, it's the opening of Jackass #2. You know, it was like,
and you see it coming. That's the other thing too. It's like it really plays on cinematic, for lack of a better term, tropes that you know it's coming. Or you're hoping it's coming. And then it comes, and it's a great cathartic release. It really is good. The whole theater of 7 people, or whatever we had, everyone's chuckling and going like, yes, like, like, awesome. And she's getting her comeuppance finally. Like, the kid figures out how to, like, it's a madness scene at the end where the house is kind of going crazy. She's realized they're going to get caught, essentially, because the cop, Paul, has come. And she's put him under a spell, along with the junkie who he had in the back seat. Because the junkie's like, "Look, I'll take you to the house." He had broken in to rob the place because he noticed one thing. I had a story I was writing about petty thieves, and one of the things they would do is drive around neighborhoods and look for newspapers. And I saw that in this movie, and I was like, excellent. So he kind of breaks in to ransack the place. And he goes in the basement, and very Blair Witchy, he finds all the kids just standing there, not moving. And then he puts 2 and 2 together because there's a reward poster at the pawn shop where he's pawning off the silverware. And, he goes to...
So cleverly layered. It really is, though.
It really is.
It's natural, and it's...
It's natural. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There's a real naturalistic quality about everything. Everything's happening because everything happened that way.
That poster at the pawn shop appears earlier, but not much attention is drawn to it. But it's in the background the first time he goes there. And
he's looking at it, and he's
time.
Like,
yeah, right. And then he puts 2 and 2 together.
God, now I'm starting to think I might like this movie better on second watch. To kind of,
I definitely, yeah.
Because I think it's not like it's crazy esoteric with like things you're gonna miss or anything, but it is constructed pretty goddamn well. And like I said, it really seemed like it was made with an audience in mind. And I can really appreciate that, where it's like, I want to entertain you. I
and
want
not a
you
fucking
to enjoy
focus
this.
Group,
Yeah,
I'm sure there was some of that, but
even so, like, use it to your advantage. And I mean, just there's so much dread and anxiety built up, and then like that last 10 minutes or so is just you can't help but smile. You're like, this is great. Like,
and you know what? It does a couple of things in that sequence where you're like, you're dancing close to like movie moments, but it's okay. It works because you've got the family eating where that just sits there as the stampede of kids and the woman run through their house and just like look around each other. Fine, you get an
but then when Brolin, But then when Brolin's following their
Yeah.
path of destruction, everyone's freaking out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they're not. They're
You get I think it's an old black couple, and I was like, oh my god, there's gonna be like all those movies. Patrice O'Neill used to say it. They have like the black guy line of like, well, what in the world, or like,
Yeah.
I got to get me one of them, like shit like that. And I was
sure.
like, oh please don't. He didn't, thankfully. But yeah, I mean
But it's almost harkens back to the end of Ferris Bueller now that I think
really
about
does.
it.
It really does, because it's
But
just those
it's a bunch
wide
of
shots. And
it's 20 kids chasing a witch through the neighborhood
Yeah.
in the early morning, and then they
It's really
rip her
funny.
to shreds.
yeah.
So
That's
I mean,
that's the good thing too. It's like the gore is restrained enough that when it does happen, it's
yeah.
you know what I mean, it's
the
used
scene
appropriately.
where the Asian principal headbutts his husband to death was
with their Mickey Mouse T-shirts.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, them
that's
eating
the
their
thing,
hot dogs.
I thought that was all a little contrived, but it
Yeah.
worked. Amy
It
Madigan
did.
really sells it all. She's fit. She's great in the movie. Obviously, she's very
Yeah.
good. She's certainly the highlight.
Absolutely.
Really goes for it. Is funny, creepy. You know, she makes it work because it really shouldn't. That when she first shows up to the principal's office looking like a fucking clown, that shouldn't work at all.
Yeah, you're right.
Like you couldn't put lipstick on right.
Mm-hmm.
Like you look ridiculous. Like, but it works.
There's something about it that really works.
Yeah, and like there's also the tension of kids are missing, so you don't want to like the principal's like he's a pretty good actor too. I forget his name.
Benedict Wong.
Yeah, and he's like, look, I got to talk to the parents. Like, I know you're helping out. He's trying to be kind because there are missing children here. He can't be like, what the fuck is this? Who are you, lady? Like, which is funny later when she shows up to his house, he is kind of like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, no. He's like, we're not doing this now.
You gotta separate those worlds.
Yeah.
Work life, home life.
But it's good. Like the way he gets kind of annihilated because he's just unstoppable once he gets turned. And a car destroys him. That was shot well. The thing, and like I say, it's very tropey, where you should see it coming, and you kind of do, and it doesn't matter the way a car comes out of frame at an intersection and just takes him out. It does a lot of things that shouldn't work that do.
Yeah,
and I got to give the movie credit for that.
Well, I got to give what studio was this? This is it's Warner Brothers as well. I got to give. I hate to give them fucking
King Zaslav does it again.
But like just for letting this guy, trusting him to do his own thing, because I think that you saw this summer with Weapons and Sinners. I mean, 2 R-rated but original horror movies that did really well, and it's like, guys, maybe if you leave some of these directors up to their own devices and don't stick your head in, like. It almost results in excitement around something again. Like, I know that's an easy critique to make, but
sure. Sinners was pretty expensive to make, right?
I believe so, and it wasn't that original. Like I said, it's very it really kind of.
I haven't seen it. I wasn't super interested.
Yeah, I liked it, but the same thing I told you. I was like, I liked it, but it's going to get nominated for Best Picture, which it shouldn't. But I liked it, and I thought it was an entertaining movie. But
we're still in that mode of like. A guy like Coogler, they're just going to give him the world.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. Whatever.
I don't care
It's
as
not
long
my
as they
cup
don't
of tea,
interfere. Like let them do whatever they want.
I prefer this. Weapons cost $35 million. We'll say
38.
Can we give people that?
I agree. I've been saying it for years. Give them fucking mid-budget.
This is the time. The mid-budget. We're ready for the mid-budget to come back. I just don't want it to be fucking horror all the time. And thankfully, this movie was way more. Small town Grimm's fairy tale.
Absolutely.
And
I
don't even know if I'd call it a horror. Like, I guess it is. It's got a horror aspect to it. You had a witch in there. I mean, I guess you can't get around that, but and there's, the gore and the dread and the spooky space.
Yeah.
Like you said, even the jump scares aren't
very,
that bad.
very, you can see the
jump scares are okay. You can do it. It's just the idea of it's just been so overdone.
It reminded me a bit of Halloween 3, the one without Michael Myers, the one with the masks.
Sure.
And similar to that, like you just get this like atmospheric small town. There's a guy investigating. Like it's just, yeah. I
you have a real good sense of place. Like you can almost see a map of the town in your head. Mm-hmm. Like it really has a very confident control.
That's the other thing too.
Of its zone.
When Brolin whips the map out to try to figure this out, it's like, oh well, he works in construction and contracting. He would have access to this stuff. Like it's It
Yeah,
works.
that's one thing where I'll be like, why weren't the cops doing that? Like the FBI, everyone, they wouldn't go, hey, where did these kids run to? The fact that he pieced that together and no one else did was a little meh.
Well, he just
I
did
don't
it more
care. Don't
precise,
care.
and he,
Oh, okay. The fucking FBI is not going to do that.
I'm just saying, it was
I didn't care. I just found that a little like, okay, like he didn't do much. He went to two houses, looked at the direction people were running in, and then found the house, basically. Like, it wasn't that big a
there's that
deal.
one moment
Like,
too where it's
and
like,
it was the kid's house. It was the kid's house. I did like another thing too, where, because I'm thinking that too. I'm like, why did he piece this together? No one else did. Did no one go to the kid's house? But then once they get to the Alex story, the last story, they show Gladys being like, clean up the house. People are coming.
right.
So like they clean it up. I forget exactly what they did with the parents. That to me was a big plot hole. Not having the parents around or saying he's in a stroke.
Yeah, they said the mother. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a bit, and even when she's in the principal's office and she's like, "Oh, they're both suffering from consumption," and the principal's like, "Consumption?" He's like, "What?"
I'm okay with
So
stuff
it's
like that. Just.
But she should have had a better thing. I mean,
it's
I
just
guess
kind of
it's
showing like
funny.
these people are all just like no one really knows what to think. They're all trying to act concerned, but no one's really doing anything.
Well, no, but there's also that idea of like you can't overstep. This is such a sensitive thing that you got to be careful. Like I said, all very excusable plot holes in my opinion. Absolutely did not push me beyond any sense of disbelief or anything. I was totally cool with it. I was along for the ride basically the whole time. Just a few things I was just like,
and
I don't know.
can we
about
say
that.
something else that I mean maybe you can agree or disagree, but we talked about Happy Gilmore 2. It really poorly portrays alcoholism, whereas this one does it well.
It's much quieter about it.
Yeah, it's not in your face.
It doesn't make
with
a show of it.
and it's like
Yeah, the Paul character, the cop, he meets Justine at a bar and he's like, I'll have a Coke. And she's like, come on. And he's like, at this point, you don't know he's a recovering alcoholic.
Right.
And I liked later in his scene when he's on the phone with the wife. And it's just, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to, I'll go to a meeting if I have to. It's like, I'm good. And, of course he fucks up.
Yeah.
It's like, which every drunk will do. Like,
well,
and
even
anyone
like
that drinks
it does
will
really
do.
well. Like even like there's times when like I've gone out after like I've had like the previous weekend I had been drinking and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to drink this weekend. I'll just go out and then you get that pressure and someone just twists your arm a little bit and it's stuff like that. And
it really only takes one a lot of times.
And Julia Garner kind of filling up the cup in the car, hiding. I remember when I was a bartender, that would happen all the time. People would come up to me and be like, with a pint glass and be like, can you bring me for a shot? It's just like it make it look like go back to the table like they still have their Diet Coke. You see stuff like that, and
sure.
I just liked the character stuff. I liked how layered it was. I'm sure it's something that when I rewatch it, I'll pick up on more stuff. And yeah, it was nice to see something that was captivating and just really good.
Yeah, definitely a big recommend from us both, I'd say. Yeah,
For sure.
Especially if you haven't been to the theater in a while. It's a good theater experience, I thought. Nice to see on the big screen. Shot well. Looks great. Sounds good for the most part.
Yeah, I'll be curious to hear that on like my home sound system.
Yeah, and just a good tight 2 hours. Like even with me saying I don't know if everything was necessary, it's not wasted time. It's a full story. I dug it. I thought it was good.
All right, real quick for a wrap up, let's just go through and see with anything coming out next month that we might want to go see.
All right. We should probably go see the Aziz Ansari Angel movie.
And we got Spinal Tap 2. I'm
do you
sure
want to see that?
We'll both have fun things to say. Yeah, we were going to do a trailer trash for that, but I was like, after a while, I'm like, oh, fuck it, I'm just going to watch the trailer. Have you seen it? Did you watch the trailer?
I saw most of it, I think. It's
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's bad.
It's such a good movie.
We're doing a Stormy Daniels joke.
Oh, were they? Like I said, I didn't see the whole thing. That's horrible.
There's one of them at one point. He's like, well,
of course, because Rob Reiner's in it. Of course, dude. If this movie's filled with Trump jokes, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind. That should be a fun review. I will lose my shit, dude.
He's lost it. So I don't know what you expect.
I gotta hear David St. Hubbins talk about Trump. Are you fucking kidding me?
To their credit, Trump wasn't mentioned.
This Trump goes to 11. I swear to fucking God, if there's some hack shit in there.
But there's a moment where one of them is like, "Oh, we couldn't get the venue; it was booked." And Rob Reiner's like, "Oh, by who?" And he's like, "Stormy Daniels." It's like, doesn't make sense. It's too outdated at this point.
It's way outdated, and she was never. That's like a dumb joke. She was never drawing like
no,
that.
she wasn't selling out crowds anyway.
Rob Reiner. My God.
You know what else I'd be curious to see? I feel like this movie's going to bypass theaters entirely, though, is this Waltzing with Brando movie. The Billy Zane Brando movie.
Billy Zane, eh?
Billy Zane playing Marlon Brando during the making of Last Tango.
Oh, God.
And he looks exactly like him in the footage I've seen.
They do look very similar in that.
But they make him like, they add a little bit, not much. He can do a lot of it naturally in his face.
Very similar faces. Well, that should be interesting. You have any interest in that Safdie rock movie?
Oh yeah, that was an okay trailer. I actually thought that looked interesting.
Could be all right. I don't know.
I don't know if that's next month though.
Yeah.
Well, in any event, let us know in the comments, particularly on Patreon. Those are the ones we tend to.
Yeah. What's that link show?
That's patreon.com/almostcultclassics for now until we change it. But yeah, it's there.
I still love the guy. I was in the middle of signing up for Patreon, and then Ryan Trash Dewey Cox, and I can only assume he did not sign up.
I mean, if he would have heard some of your opinions behind that paywall, he would have canceled anyway. So he saved himself the $5. But if you do
save your money.
If you do like our opinions and want to hear even more spicy takes, that's patreon.com/almostcultclassics. We'll be back soon to talk about new releases, old releases. We'll see you then.
Thanks for listening.